My name's Sarah Hall and I'm the Modern Languages Consultant for Reading Borough Council with a focus on primary education. And today we're at Upcroft, which is one of our 36 primary schools. Claire Roberts is the class teacher of this particular Year 5 class, and she is actually a fluent French speaker, but hasn't learned how to teach modern languages, hasn't learned any of the methodologies. So asked me as the consultant to come and work with her to show her some of the methodology. So today's lesson is with Year 5. They haven't done much French, they've done a little bit of French before, but not very much. So I'm using the Year 3 objectives, even though they're of Year 5 age group. And this lesson is a literacy lesson. My two great lesson ideas are two games. One's known as the fly swat game. The second game is a team game, a line game called Chinese Whispers Writing. So I will start the lesson with some what I call oral revision, where we revise some words that they've learned orally. Today's words are based on colours, so we'll revise the colours that they've previously learned through a circle game. I'm going to say rouge, and I want all the rouge to swap places. Shall we try it? Rouge. Oh, well done, good. What about blanc? Vert. So we'll then move on to the children actually saying the words. So I get them to play a little game called Chain Gang, where I give each child a word, they wander around the room saying that word, and they have to meet up with anybody else who's saying that word and form a chain, a human chain, by linking arms. Wow. Then we move on to a reading activity. This is called the fly swat game, and once again it's a team game. One child from each team comes and stands in front of the board, in front of the words on the board, holds a fly swat. When I shout out the colour, they have to whack that particular word with their fly swat. They have to score 3 points. Whoever whacks the word first scores a point. They score 3 points and then rush back to their team, and another team member comes up and whacks the word. Rouge, rouge, vert, jaune. I think green's got 3. Right, you need one more. Rouge. Well done, off you go. Jaune. Rouge. Vert. Oh, she's too quick. Bleu. The children very much enjoy it because they're very competitive, and there's lots of shouting, and they're shouting the words as well as reading the words at the same time without necessarily knowing that they're shouting the words. So it's again practice for them orally as well. Then we move on to the children writing. Once again, this is done through game and play so that it's not something that doesn't appeal to the children. So the words will still be on the board for them to see. We start off with a pair work activity where each child writes on the palm of a partner's hand with their finger, spelling out a word, and the partner has to guess what word they're writing. We then move into a team game where the children stand one behind the other, and it's called a line game, so you have 2 teams in 2 lines. The person at the back has to write on the person in front's back with their finger, for example, bleu, and that person has to then write on the person in front of them the word bleu, and it's like Chinese whispers, it's passing a word down the line. The person at the front then rushes to the whiteboard and writes the word on the board, and we hope that that word has been passed down. Is she right? Is she right, that team? Yes, she is, isn't she? Oh, they're both right. Well done. Both of the writing activities are very successful because quite a lot of children are not frightened of writing, but are perhaps more reluctant to write than any of the other skills. And in these particular games, there isn't actually a pen involved or a computer. So they're actually writing without necessarily knowing they're writing. They're fun, exciting and stimulating and very competitive.